my booktube channel. My name is Acacia Ives. This is my first video in a long line of what I hope to be a booktube channel. I am going to be doing a November haul, which is also my birthday haul. I have other books that will be coming that haven't arrived yet, as they are all coming from the UK, but unfortunately they're not here yet, so they will be my December book haul. I'm going to jump right in, as my recording system is not as good as I would like, and it keeps erasing everything I do. So I'm going to link down below Jen Campbell and Mercedes' Bookish Thoughts, because those are probably what 98% of these books came from as a recommendation. And I'm going to start with the one that I'm in the middle of, which is Helen Oyani, White is for Witching. And this is about a young girl named Miranda, and she suffers from pica, in which she eats food, but it's not actually food. It's a non-nutritious source of anything, and she eats chalk. And she ends up in a mental institution, and things just kind of get worse from there. And she and her brother and her father are all stuck in this home, and it's dark and scary, and they're all just kind of going mad in different ways. And it's really wonderful, and I so far am giving this a 5 out of 5 stars, but I am not sure until it's done. The next book is Jenny Epperbeck, which is Visitation. It's 150 pages, and I'm very excited to read this one. It's going to be a really quick read, and I am super stoked. It is from the perspective of a house throughout the ages, I believe, starting in World War I, maybe continuing. This just sounds like a beautiful read and a very interesting narrator. I am so excited. Dome of Hidden Pavilion by James Tate is a book of poetry that I couldn't say no to because of the cover partially, but also because I have lost a lot of my luster for poetry. I've always loved it, and I write it myself, but I have lost it over the years, and I'm excited to get back into my love. And they're also very good to have, since I like darker novels. I like to have a book of poetry or short stories next to me to kind of break up the darkness. Sister by Rosamund Lupton is a thriller novel about a young girl named Beatrice whose sister Tess disappears, and she has to find her, and that is all I know. Geek Love, a novel by Catherine Dunn, is a book about circus freaks, but not really, I would say carnies. This is a freakishly, darkish, wonderful, disturbing book about carnies who, I believe, harm their own children to make them, when they're still in the womb, to make sure that they come out dysmorphed and weird and different so that they don't lose their place in the carnival. How to Breathe Underwater by Julia Orgener is one of Mercedes' books that she recommends as a short story collection, and I've never been steered wrong by her collections. And I'll actually show you that again because that was very rude of me. Alice Thompson's The Book Collector. This is a beautiful book, and it looks like it is going to be very dark and brutal. This is a book about a young girl, or a woman, I should say, who gets obsessed with her husband's fairy tale collection, and when she becomes so obsessed, she gets sent to a mental hospital, and when she gets out of the mental hospital, things at home have gotten worse and weirder than they were in the hospital. Stephen King apparently recommends that one, so it has to be good. Binary Star, a novel by Sarah Gerard, is a book about anorexia, and it is written in a very lyrical, beautiful way, and I'm very excited to read this because it just seems like a fantastic book, and it's a very important subject, and I'm very excited about it. Bird Box is a dark, apocalyptic novel by Josh Marlman, and it is about a group of people who have a creature outside of their house or in their town, and if they see it, they become mad and they begin to harm themselves and others around them, and so when they go outside, they have to be blindfolded. Dorothy Allison's Bastard Out of Carolina is a darker book. It's about a young girl named Bones who was born a bastard in the South, and it does have sexual, mental, verbal abuse. And I should not read it, but I'm going to, because I give myself very good advice, but I never listen to it. And that's just a fact. The Crimson Petal and the White by Michael Fabler is a big chunker of a book, and I will be reading this when the winter really gets cold and quiet here in Maine. and I will eat through these 830 some odd pages. I don't know much about it. I do know that it is a book about a young girl. I believe her name is Sugar, and it takes place in the late 1800s in London. And I'm just very excited about it, especially because the narrator sounds very different than anything else I've read. The Peculiar Sadness of Lemon Cake, which is about a young girl who, when she eats food, she can taste the emotions of who made it. And I don't believe that's the full story, but I understand there's some good magical realism in here, and that it is a very beautifully written story, and I'm excited to enjoy it. A Wild Swan and Other Stories and Tales by Michael Cunningham, the author of The Hours. This is a short story collection of fairy tales. If you want to take your fairy tales and turn them on their head and make them very adult and dark, this is for you. If you don't read it. It's fantastic, though. I did finish it, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. These are all books that I picked up of my own volition without any recommendations, except for potentially a couple Instagram photos here and there asking for it, which is Lewis O'Neill. I do follow her on Instagram, and I love her, and I love her writing. Only Ever Yours was her first book. This is her second book, and I think it's very important that this book get more attention and become a little more public here in the U.S. Unfortunately, it has not caught on yet. The subject matter is very important, and it does talk about what's okay, what's not okay, and the back says they're good boys, really. It just got a little out of hand. It did not get out of hand. They made a choice. And while that is going on, I will be reading this book, and this is The Singular Extraordinary Tale of Mirror and Goliath, which is about a young girl who has a shape-shifting guardian named Goliath, and they get washed up on the shores of Victorian England. And this has been called an extraordinary dark fairy tale for adults and fans of Catherine Ann Valente and Neil Gaiman. I am so stoked to read this, and I cannot wait to pick this up. Made You Up by Francesca Zappia is a book about a young girl with schizophrenia. The characters have been compared to that of people in the Wes Anderson films, and I love those films, so I'm very excited to be picking this up. I don't know too much about it, but I know I'm excited because I love books about mental illness. Weird as that sounds, I find them very fascinating. Meh by Deborah Malcolm is a children's book, a silent children's book, which talks about depression, and it compares deep sadness to depression kinds of sadness, and it has some wonderful questions at the end to ask children after you read it, and it's a very important book to help kids understand what's going on. So there you have it, everybody. That is my book haul for November. I will be posting more videos soon. I do hope to do the Be a Good Human book tag, and I will link that one down below so you can get ready and prep. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, give me some comments, let me know what to do. The quality of this I know is not great, but unfortunately it's all I have to work with right now. So I am going to say goodbye to you guys right now, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!